Okay, everybody, it's Monday at the range, and this is my first time out with this Bushmaster Varminter. I picked this up about a month ago in Wauseon, Ohio at the Lead Shed. It's a nice little gun shop down there. That was after the military rifle shoot where I shot the Type 99 for the first time. I usually head down into Ohio and bounce around a little bit before I head home and find food, so I usually stop in the Lead Shed and shop a bit. And I found this Bushmaster Varminter there in the used section, so I picked it up, brought it home and cleaned it up. I mounted this loop-holed VariX2, actually it's a VX2, I believe it's a 6 to 18 adjustable objective. It's got target knobs on it. Yeah, 6 to 18 VX2. It's a Vortex mount. I didn't have a loop-holed mount that was 1 inch. The only one I had that wasn't on a rifle was a 30 millimeter tube. So I may end up switching that around if I end up leaving this glass on this rifle. I hadn't ever shot any of these Bushmasters. I know that this Varminter model was pretty popular back in the day. It's got the low-profile gas block, which is more or less the normal sight post cut down. They don't have any pins or anything in them. They're just glued on with some sort of a high-temperature adhesive. Fluted 24-inch barrel. I believe it's 1 in 9. Everything came with the rifle with the exception of I didn't get the scope risers that it's supposed to come with, and I didn't get the box, the case, and I didn't get a magazine. But I did have a Bushmaster magazine kicking around, or at least it has a Bushmaster floor plate. I don't know the history of this magazine. It's some sort of a riveted together low capacity magazine. I'm assuming it'll hold 10, maybe it'll only hold 5. I don't know. I haven't tried to fill it up all the way. And it's been sectioned and riveted together probably from a 20 round magazine, I suppose. I guess I could look at the cage codes on it and figure out what the parts originally were. It is spot welded, and it does have a Bushmaster side plate. I've got a lot of mosquitoes trying to get me here, so this is going to be a challenge. They're really out today, and I'm back next to the bushes on the 100-yard bench, so we may be cut short by bugs, but this does say BFI Windham, Maine. This rifle is from the Windham, Maine days of Bushmaster. I have not looked up the dates or anything. I've done very little with it other than clean it up. It was very dirty when I bought it. They told me at the shop that it was even worse. As a matter of fact, when I pulled it off the rack, I couldn't see down the bore. And the first thing, I was kind of worried that it was obstructed or something. I asked the guy, I said, hey, can we run a patch through this? And it ended up just being a spider nest or something in the barrel. But anyway, the barrel was filthy. These are not chrome lined. They're just a regular barrel. I don't know if they're melanite or what they are, but anyway, it is what it is. So far, I've put 2 shots through the rifle. I'll put up the picture of that. Small scope adjustment is needed to get me centered, but the first 2 shots were pretty good for just looking down the bore and lining up the scope. I did an initial bore sighting at 100 yards. Then I moved it up to 50 and looked through the bore and lined up the scope again and said, okay, that's going to be on the paper. And I wasn't off by very much. As a matter of fact, I need to come up about 3/4 of an inch. I'm not sure what this thing does, if it's 1/8 inch clicks or if it's 1/4 inch. Let's treat it as if it's 1/4 inch, and I'll go 1 or 1/4 MOA, 2, that's the wrong way, 1, 2, we'll go up, 1, 2, 3, and then I need about 2 1/4 inches to the left, so I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 1 inch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 inches. Let's just go up 2 1/4 and see what that gets for us, and then we'll shoot the first group and see what happens. So anyway, first time out with it. I've got 2 rounds through it. I did a couple of test loads with it. The 2 that I did were Fowlers, and they were Sierra Match Kings, the number 1400C 53 grain hollow point flat base match. So I'm going to stick with those because they printed pretty good. I've got 10 more of those. That's 24 grains of benchmark. So we're Lake City brass, Lake City 12. I annealed it and I full length sized it with a Redding +02 shell holder, the competition shell holder, to make it 2/1000ths of an inch longer than running their die all the way down. That looked pretty good on the comparator in this rifle. So we'll see what they look like after they're fired and fine-tuned from there. Then I used a mandrel, a 223 mandrel, and a very, very light touch with a Lee universal case expanding die to put a little flare to seat the flat base bullet nicely. Boy, I should have brought some mosquito spray, I think. I do have some stuff in the van if I have to go get it. Used an RCBS seating die, and then I used a very, very light Lee factory crimp die. So here's what the round looks like, Lake City 12 brass, and like I said, this is the Sierra Match King 53 grain hollow point flat base match. 24 grains of benchmark to start. So we'll go ahead and fill up this. I had this Bushmaster magazine. This did not come with the rifle, so this is just something I had kicking around. And it fed those first two out of this magazine well, so if I have problems, I do have other magazines with me. So there's 5. Let's do the first group. On my target downrange, I do have the target camera up. I will go for the upper left target. Oh, you got to put that in the right way. So let's see where we are alignment-wise. I think that I'm going to have to come to the left just a little bit. It's just a Harris bipod. I don't shoot from a bipod very often. Squeeze bag in the back here. The glass is situated. Starting to get towards the evening, so I don't have a ton of light. We're just going to have to live with it. But okay, here we go. We'll shoot 5 and see how it goes. This does have the Bushmaster 2-stage trigger. It's the same as the Compass Lake Engineering 2-stage trigger now. I have one of those in one of my Colt match target rifles. The match target model has the Compass Lake Engineering version of this old Bushmaster 2-stage target trigger. So I will probably end up adjusting it a little bit, but I didn't have the right Allen wrench on hand when I was wanting to twiddle it a little bit, but we'll see how it does. Yep, I can see that fine. Oop, gotta take the only on YouTube. Gotta take the I don't know if we got a round on that or not. We better check that. There we go. You don't want to close the bolt with the flag in there. That's better. That's a good shot. I'll take it. Nothing wrong with the brass at all. I haven't been shooting autoloaders much lately. I'm kind of in bolt action rifle mode, so kind of forgetting this whole thing. That looks pretty good in the parallax. I think I jerked that a little bit. I did come lower and left on that shot. I think I was a little punchy on it. I need to settle down and use this 2-stage trigger correctly and not jerk the rifle around. See, I don't shoot off of a bipod very much, so this is something I'm not real practiced with right now. That was a better executed shot. I am torquing the rifle. I can feel it. I'm torquing the rifle to the left. It's me on the grip. These shipped with this Hogue rubber grip. I don't know if I'll leave that on there. I had to spend a fair amount of time cleaning it up. They had put a book number sticker on it, and it was just all gooey from the stuff. So it took a little bit of work with soap and water and some Goo Gone to get that sticker residue off of there. But I need to just relax here. I'm hanging onto this rifle like it's something that it isn't. It's not gonna bite me. I can let off of it a little bit here. I felt better about that shot. We did get a bolt hold open, so that's good. So that powder charge is just fine. Let's see, where'd all my brass go? I think here's one here, and I think a couple of them fell on the ground. I'll go ahead and pick those up. And you guys can see the target on the target camera, so I guess I don't have to say too much about that. There's the other two. Boy, it's beautiful weather today. It's in the 70s. Mosquitoes are going to be the only negative of today. So I've got a couple of options here. I can shoot more of that group or that charge. But I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to move to the upper right spot on that target, and I'll do the next charge up, which is this is going to be 24.5 of benchmark, so a half a grain more. And let's see how this shoots. I shoot a little bit of benchmark in my 6x45. It seems to work well. The 6x45 likes a full case of it. You know, it's about the same, about 25 and a half, 26 grains. So I'm just going to go ahead and move right on, upper right spot on that target, and see if I can settle down a little bit on my torquing on this grip, because I think that's probably the biggest challenge that I have right now, is me holding on too tight to a rifle that doesn't need to be held on to, and getting used to shooting on a bipod again. Upper right spot, 100 yards. That was a good release. I did let the rifle slide to the left as I fired it, so I am, of course there's nothing here to hold it, there's no traction, so I guess that's what we're gonna get. So it's probably a function of how I'm holding the grip in my cheek weld, pushing on it. Okay, that's right there with the first one. Kind of settle down here a little bit. Yep, the powder charge is plenty good there. Fix my note there. Yeah, for 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, for 9 shots out of the rifle, I can't complain. I've read that these rifles shoot. I've never been around one before. This is my first experience with anything Bushmaster. For a rifle whose barrel was as dirty as this one was, I'm pretty impressed with what it's shooting right now. It is a very good bullet. These first 10 here, this is the Hornady 52 grain bullet. If I get through some of these others, I might go back to that Hornady and see how that does, but we may run out of time. Okay, shot number 3 of this second group. Okay, I don't think I was as disciplined on that as I should have been. I came up a little bit. It's probably me. I think the rifle is trying to strut its stuff a little bit here. The I think I might like the second stage to be I don't know, maybe a smidgen heavier or a little crisper. It was all full of goo in there. I took everything apart and cleaned it and got it all put back together. But the other thing I don't care for is with this safety, well, you're kind of married to this safety selector because it's part of this Bushmaster 2-stage trigger. It's got some set screws and stuff in there, and the one big set screw comes down and hits the interrupter as part of the safety and all that. But this whole grip is thick enough that it interferes. You can see here where it rubs. It interferes with the selector, so it starts to bind a little bit there. I don't like that. I either need to shave a little bit off of this rubber grip or get this. I might just take this rubber grip off and put a standard A2 grip on it. I think that would make me happier. So here we go. Let's see how we do on this shot number 4 out of this group. Yeah, I'm not preloading the bipod or anything. I'm just shooting it. Okay, that one's right there with those first two. So I said the rifle is doing its thing. It's just me. I just got to learn to hold it still. Well, I might, I'm pretty sure the variation down there is more me than the load or the rifle. I might just as well say call it done and shoot 24.5 grains of benchmark out of this thing for a while, because that's doing just fine. Okay, and I came down on that one. We are clear. There's that piece of brass. Okay, well, let's go to the lower left target and shoot my recipe number 4, which is the 25.0 grains, which in the Hornady book with their bullet, that's listed as max. It is not the max in the Sierra book with their bullet at roughly the same overall length. So now that I see that these are printing the next time out, or maybe the second, you know, I did 10 of each of these. Maybe with the second 5, I'll chronograph them and see what that looks like, if any of them seem to be performing any better than the others. But I think what I'll do here is I'll shoot 5 of these 25 grainers with the Sierra bullet, and then maybe we'll shoot 5 at 24 grains with the Hornady bullet and see what's different. Because we got 4 spots on that target to work with. I can't imagine that heavy barrel's, it's not even warm. With the flutes and the heavy barrel, it's really heavy after the gas block. Beneath the float tube, it's a very heavy barrel. And boy, it was a son of a gun, all the fuzz and dirt and stuff that was underneath this handguard on the barrel and whatnot. And this is Loctited on. It's not threaded on with a jam nut. It's got a, you know, I'm assuming that it's the barrel nut has the outside thread on it. I looked at it the best I could with a flashlight, but I didn't see an easy way to turn this off the threads, and it's very clearly got some semblance of adhesive or Loctite there. So I decided, you know, I'm just going to have to clean that out of there the best I can. So I used compressed air and some brushes and cleaning rods and patches, and just kept cleaning and got all the spider stuff out of there, because it was filthy. I mean, this rifle was filthy, and I don't think it's been shot a lot. I didn't see a lot of wear and tear that way. I mean, internally the thing looked, you know, no wear at all, hardly. The bolt carrier group shows very little, not even any wear. Even around the gas key, or not so much the gas key, the cam pin, the finish was all real nice on it. But as far as the external dirt and gunk, it was filthy. So I spent a fair amount of effort cleaning it up, and then got the scope on it and got it all going. So actually, for it to come right out to the range and print reasonably well makes me happy. And it seems to be functioning just fine too. Okay, so we'll line back up over here. The rear bag a little bit here. Okay, we're in the fire position. I'm clamping down on the thing like it's a 338 Lapua or something. I don't need to hold it that hard. I think part of that is I've been shooting the 350 Rem Mag a bit lately. You got to hold on to that one. This one you don't have to hold on to like that. That felt like a good shot. I think I lost it in the red there. Yeah, I think I see it in the red stripe there. Maybe it's showing up better on the camera. I thought with the 18 power scope I'd be able to see those bullet holes. I probably should have set up the spotting scope, but I do have the target camera, so that will be good enough. Okay, that looks pretty good. I wish there was a little bit more light down there by the target. I hope the target camera's doing okay, because we're in a shadow down there. Yep, those all look like they're doing pretty good. They all look like they're doing pretty good. Oh, it sure is nice outside. It's dead calm. Some big puffy clouds. Nice evening. I was debating whether I should come to the range and shoot, or if I should go to the airport and fly the airplane. Who knows, maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll wrap up here and then go to the airport and fly the plane. We'll see. I figured I'd better come to the range though, because there's some other events going on at the club this weekend, and the rifle range will not be available Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Probably they'll be doing setup stuff on Thursday even, so if I shoot, I'll go to one of the other ranges or out to the Mosquito Ranch. Of course, I am glad I came today because I met a new club member that I hadn't met before. His name is Mike, and he's my kind of guy. He was shooting a Remington Sendero that was a 300 Remington Ultra Mag, and he was shooting cast bullets with Trail Boss in it. It's like, that's good stuff. So I was happy to meet Mike. We had some nice conversation, and I offered him some 300 Rum brass that I think I have at home. So we exchanged contact information and whatnot. I'll have to dig that brass out. So Mike, if you're watching, it's glad to meet you. I gave him the name of the channel. So here we go. Back down, lower left. Let's go forward a little bit. Yep, I felt myself move on that. I wouldn't be surprised if that shot went a little bit to the left. Say, I got to get used to shooting off this bipod. I'm really used to shooting with a hard rear bag and a front rest, but I wanted to shoot this one kind of as it would be fielded, you know, with a bipod, if you were doing some varmint hunting with it or whatnot, this would kind of be how I would set it up if I was going to go do something of that nature. So, you know, I'm definitely going to stretch it out. I might take it back. I may not be able to do it today, but I'll get it back to 200 yards here and get it somewhere else where I can shoot a little further with some of these lighter bullets. The 52s, they would be a good setup. I think I was back to torque that a little bit there. I think I was back to holding on too tight again on that shot as part of my problem. That felt pretty good. Say, I'm having a hard time seeing the shots. They all look like they're kind of on that bottom point of the diamond, and one of them up a little higher. But I think it's a decent group for the first time out and no load development, just guessing. So that was 25 grains of benchmark with the Sierra hollow point flat base match. 25 grains of benchmark on that. So let's shoot 5 with the Hornady bullets before we wrap it up. We'll shoot that on the lower right spot on the target. I say we certainly can bring this out again and maybe run this other half of the ammo over the chrono. It'd be interesting to put the velocity numbers into the Gordon's reloading tool and see what it suggests, not only as a charge with benchmark, but maybe it would have a decent parametric powder search result. I wouldn't be surprised if it said there's a Vidivori powder that looks real good. That was right about on the same speed as benchmark that I think would probably be right on the money. But I didn't have any of that, and I did have benchmark, so that's why I ended up with this. Probably LT30, LT32. Probably a couple of the Hodgdon powders, what, 335 maybe, if you wanted to do the ball powder. Okay, we're going to do the lower right spot. With the Bushmaster Varminter, first time at the range. Oh, why didn't you guys tell me the bipod was coming loose? That might be making a difference. Boy, I tell you, my viewers are not keeping me up to date on the adverse things that happen. You guys are supposed to tell me when stuff like that happens. Like when I shoot Mausers and the cleaning rod starts migrating out the front, that's got to affect something. I don't know that affected any of those shots. I think the only thing that affected those shots was me. But we'll tighten it up anyway. Probably shoots better with it loose, and now it's going to be terrible. So if this shoots terrible, how are we going to know if it's from tightening up the bipod or if it's from changing the bullet? Yep, that's looking pretty good. All right, here we go. I say, I don't like that fat grip underneath that safety lever. That can't be good. All right. Now there is a target repair spot on there that was there from the beginning. That was from the last time at the range. Oh, that was a good shot. I hear an airplane. Can't see him through the roof or through the trees. It's got a bit of a growl. Might be a Continental, like an 0200 or something, in a Cessna 150 or something like that. All right, he ought to be coming into view. There he is. Yep, it's a Cessna 150, little two-seat airplane. The Continental 0200s have a pretty distinct growl about them. Okay, lower right target. Don't grip the rifle too much. Okay, that came to the left a little bit. I think that I was jerky. I need to be smoother on that trigger pull. I'm not doing service to these bullets. I think that's right with the first one. I didn't jerk that one like I did that second one. You're not supposed to hose up the group on the second shot. You're supposed to hose up the group on the fourth shot. Usually it's the fourth shot. Yeah, shot number 2, I know that I was punchy on the trigger on that one. All right, here we go. Number 4. Of course, number 4 might ruin the group. It might be really bad. Yeah, I'm not sure, but that might be with those other two. Little sooty around the neck with the benchmark. Is it like that on the bigger charges too? 25 grains? A little bit. There's no pressure there. There's all kinds of room, but you know, if it'll shoot, you know, for shooting 100 yards anyway, if it'll shoot at the lower charge, I'll take the lower charge. It's cycling fine. Of course, I don't know what the consistency of the velocity is. We'll have to get them over the chrono and see how that looks. But okay, one more shot. See how we do. Can't really tell. You guys can see it on camera. I can't see it here. So what did it do? It looked like it might be kind of with the others. Wishful thinking anyway. Okay, well, I got all my brass accounted for. There's one down there. Let's grab that and get it back in the tray there. I'm sitting on my packing blanket here because I'm too short for the bench. I got my plywood add-on table clamped on there. Got my ears out now. Okay, I saw that one dropped. Where did it go? It's amazing how brass can just up and disappear on you. But anyway, I'll find that. I don't need to do it while everybody's watching. I can find that here on my own. But anyway, once again, it's Bushmaster Varminter. I've had it, not quite a month. I think I got it, around the 10th of July or thereabouts. The same day as that match where I shot the Type 99 after doing all the work on it. But so far, it looks like it's doing pretty well. We'll go down range and check out the target. Well, okay, we're walking down range here to see how we did with that Bushmaster Varminter. And once again, just a beautiful day at the range. It's They say it's in the 70s and no wind. The only negative thing that I can say is a little bit of bugs around, but man, blue sky and just beautiful out here. What a great night to be at the range. I don't know if I'll shoot this thing a little bit more or wrap it up and go home and get some dinner, see what Alex is up to. He's off to college here in less than 3 weeks. Trying to figure out what in the world I'm gonna do. It's gonna be different. I'm used to him being around and everything. He's such a big part of everything, and it's just gonna be different. So enjoying a nice evening here at the range while he's got some other plans. He had a dinner engagement to go to and take care of and all that, and so I came out to the range. Like I said, I considered going and doing some flying, but decided I wanted to shoot that Bushmaster a little bit and enjoy the range before it shut down for this weekend. So just about down to the target. I don't know if I can switch the view. I'll probably have to shut this off to switch the view around. Okay, well there's the target camera. So we'll get up here to the target, and I say I just brought this out today and bore sighted it. These were the first 2 shots. So then you guys saw me do the clicks. I made the adjustment. These were the first 2 shots out of the rifle. This was the first group with the Sierra bullet, the flat base hollow point Match King, 5 shots there. This was 24 grains of benchmark, and this was 24.5 grains of benchmark. Looks like it's wanting to shoot about right there towards the bottom of that triangle. I know that I drifted a couple of these to the left. I probably made some mistakes there too. Had that going pretty good and got one up a little bit, but you know, we're still looking at, you know, just this one's a little over an inch. You know, those squares are an inch, so if you kind of interpolate it there, that's just about an inch. And then down here with the 24.5, I kind of, that's probably 1.25 inches, I would guess, somewhere in that range. And then that Hornady bullet did really well, other than one that I hosed up. I hosed that one up. I know that I pulled that to the left. My fault. I had a good group going there, and that was shot number 2 though, so I did recover and get there. So I do have 5 more of each of those. I think I will wait and do them over the chronograph. I'm not sure that I can get light. If we look back down this way towards the bench down there, I don't think that in that shadow down there by the 100-yard line where the green roof is, I don't think I can get good chrono readings. It's starting, you know, we got these trees over here on the west side of the range are blocking the sun, so I don't think that I'm going to be able to get good chrono data today. So I'll save those and take a break and get the chrono data later. But like I say, it's just beautiful out here. You know, it's a nice summer day, summer evening, you know, blue sky, some puffy clouds. But maybe I'll pack this stuff up and maybe I'll go tool around a little bit in the airplane and have a little fun there. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with what I see out of this Bushmaster Varminter. Looks like that Hornady bullet with that powder charge was good. I don't know if the bullet was shooting better or if I was more disciplined. We'll practice with it a little bit more. But gosh, it's not too shabby for the first 5, 10, 15, 20, 22 shots. Only 22 shots out of the rifle, you know, and it only took me 2 shots to get it to do this. I've not adjusted the scope other than that initial adjustment, so I'm pretty happy with it. We'll work with it a little bit more, decide what I'm going to do with the rifle, if I'll keep that scope on it or you know, it's a pretty decent scope, but I could put more glass on it if I was going to shoot it further, or if I was going to try to shoot targets with it a little tighter. Could put more glass on it. I've got I could put a 36X on it and fool around with that if I want to shoot it off the bench a little bit, but I kind of like shooting it off the bipod. You know, this setup isn't bad. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.